Hi everyone. In this video, I will explain what is thin layer chromatography, how to use thin layer chromatography, and what are the applications of it. First of all, what is thin layer chromatography? As the term describes, thin layer. A thin layer is used as an adsorbent or a stationary phase to use chromatographic technique. A thin layer is made on a certain plate, and that particular thin layer is used for moving the uh, any chemical mixture. So that is called thin layer chromatography. It's a separation technique of chromatography again. As we have already seen in the last video, we have discussed about paper chromatography. Thin layer chromatography is similar to paper chromatography. One thing you should note that in all the industries, R&D sectors, in all research labs, nowadays, paper chromatography is rarely used. So everywhere you see the application of thin layer chromatography as a technique for the identification of the components, especially in organic chemistry research laboratories. Let me explain what is thin layer chromatography and what are the principles associated with it. So definition is it's a TLC is a solid liquid technique with a solid as a stationary phase and liquid as a mobile phase. It is used to separate the mixture into continuous component. You can say to separate or to purify. But one thing you should note that purification is bit difficult here. That is called depurative TLC. It is hardly used. So the best term is used to separate. Is to separate the mixture into constituent components. So when you have mixture similar to paper chromatography, you spot the mixture on the TLC plate, then you run it in a mobile phase. After certain time, you stop the run and look for the RF factor and the separation. That's what you will be going to do here. Separation is based on the relative affinity of the components towards both the mobile and stationary phase. This principle also we have discussed in the paper chromatography technique. So this separation is based on the relative affinity of the components towards both the mobile and stationary phase. There are various components in the mixture, and if you want to separate them, when you spot it on TLC plate, based on its affinity towards the stationary phase as well as mobile phase, those components will be separated. This is how TLC plates look. These are ready-made TLC plates. In the olden labs, you must have seen some of the TLC plates are handmade. They use glass plate. In the glass plate, they put it in silica gel, or they dip in the silica gel slurry. I think that silica gel slurry should be 1000 to 2000 mesh. It is made in some solvent like hexane, ethyl acetate like. Then you dip it in and you just remove it and dry it. And some labs where they use for isolation, where they do isolation techniques, they also do the TLC plates in water, but it's not that recommended. Best way is you make a silica slurry in hexane and ethyl acetate, then you dip the plate and remove it. Remove the one part of it, other part remains as stationary phase, which you can use for spotting the chemical mixture. Nowadays, that is hardly used because of some consequences associated with the lungs. So those silica gel, which are very thin particles, when they are handmade or when they are manually made in the lab, there are chances it will spread in the environment and it may cause some problems in the lung. So this kind of stationary phase or this kind of TLC plate is now readily available. Especially there are many companies like Aldrich, they are selling this, and they are also UV active. There are also UV inactive available too. So this you can directly use for spotting the chemical mixture. So this you can cut into various extent. If you want 5 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, and dimension you should choose first based on your chemical mixture, how many spots you want to do. You can cut into small pieces like this. Then you can use this for the separation technique. There are two things which you should keep in mind: adsorbent and mobile phase. Adsorbent, as I already told, is silica gel plate mainly. There are various adsorbent, not only silica gel. It may be silica gel, alumina, magnesia, magnesium silicate, calcium silicate, but most widely used is silica gel. Most of the TLC plates, if you buy in Aldrich, hardly you get alumina, magnesia, all those, because you don't use this as much. And silica gel TLC plate is widely used. There are some organic adsorbent adsorbed on alumina plate. So it may be cellulose and its acidates and some of the charcoal and activated carbons for special use. Okay, these are the most widely used adsorbent or the stationary phase. Among them, silica gel is the most commonly used. And mobile phase is nothing but eluent. So you must have seen when the discussion of paper chromatography. The eluent is maybe a single solvent like N-hexane ethyl acetate, or it can be mixture. So based on your requirement, whether you want to run in single solvent or whether you want to run in different solvent, or the mixture of solvents like N-hexane plus ethyl acetate, DCM plus methanol. This is why this is done, mixture of solvent, to change the polarity. N-hexane you mix with ethyl acetate, N-hexane is non-polar, ethyl acetate is polar. So if you want to increase the polarity gradually, then you take N-hexane, then you start adding ethyl acetate. As the quantity of ethyl acetate increases, the mixture will have higher polarity. Okay, similarly DCM methanol, DCM is having lower polarity. You start adding methanol, the mixture will increase its polarity. So this is how a normal TLC development looks. So this is with a beaker and TLC plate kept inside, and you make the mixture spot here. Before that you put a pencil mark, remember, not with a pen, with a pencil. And solvent, when you dip, solvent should be below this mixture. This mixture spot should not immerse totally in the solvent. So this is once you spotted, they will start moving. You can see it here. They start moving and you run it up to certain level, maybe 70 to 80% of the TLC plate. Then you remove the plate, mark the spots and calculate the RF value. This is all similar to RF value calculation, spotting and running the TLC plate. All are similar to the paper chromatography technique which I have already known. Staining the TLC plates then come. This is very important because one thing what you can use is UV active chamber for identifying these spots. Otherwise, there are various staining agents available like iodine vapor, anhydrine, phosphomuriatic acid, aniseide, KMnO4. These all can be used for staining different components because not all components are UV active. Not all of them are seen under UV visible light. That's why you have to use different staining agents. You can watch this video for better understanding.
Thin layer chromatography, TLC, is a chromatography technique used to separate non-volatile mixtures. As well as other forms of chromatography, in TLC there is a mobile phase, which may consist of a solvent or solvent mixture. And there is a stationary phase, which is a plate that coated with a thin layer of adsorbent material, usually silica gel, aluminium oxide, or cellulose. To run a thin layer chromatography plate, a pencil line is drawn, about 1.5 centimeters from the bottom edge. Also, the plate can be labeled using a pencil to show the original position of the drop. Thin layer chromatography can be used to identify compounds present in a given sample mixture. A small drop of the mixture is placed on the baseline of the thin layer plate. And similar small spots of known compounds are placed alongside it. When the spots are dry, the TLC plate is then placed in the chamber so that the spots do not touch the surface of the eluent in the chamber. And the lid is closed. The solvent moves up the plate by capillary action, meets the sample mixture and carries it up the plate. The separation is based on differential partitioning of the sample components between the mobile phase and the stationary phase. The component which has less affinity to the stationary phase, consequently, less interaction, travels further up the TLC plate. and the component which has more affinity to the stationary phase, consequently, more interaction travels slower on the plate. This separation can be carried out according to the nature of the mobile phase, which is non-polar, and to the TLC plate type, which is generally a polar stationary phase. In this case, this method separates analytes based on their affinity for a polar stationary surface, such as silica gel. The more polar the analytes are, the more retained they will be on the stationary phase. The more hydrophobic they are, the more they will prefer the mobile phase, and as a consequence, they will move higher up the plate. The solvent is allowed to rise until it almost reaches the top of the plate. That will give the maximum separation of the components. The plate should be removed from the chamber before the solvent front reaches the top of the stationary phase. Then this front is marked. The plate can be dried in ambient air or under the warm air of a dryer. The plate is visualized under the UV lamp or by using certain chemical reagents if the substances of interest are colorless. Some plates are pre-coated with a phosphor, allowing many compounds to be visualized by using ultraviolet light. Or a derivatization of the sample with fluorescent reagent can be carried out before running the TLC plate. As soon as the UV source is switched off, the spots will disappear again. Therefore, the positions of the spots should be marked by drawing a pencil circle around them. And the retention factor of each component is determined. For chemical visualization of stains, various visualizing agents react with the spots to produce visible results, such as iodine, ninhydrin, potassium permanganate, and vanillin. The plate can be immersed in these chemicals or sprayed. Once visible, the RF value or retention factor of each spot can be determined by dividing the distance the compound traveled by the distance the solvent front traveled, using the initial spotting site as reference. A compound with a lower RF tends to have more polar functional groups than a compound with a higher RF. Based on the RF values, compound A is the most polar and compound C is the least polar. The retention factor of the spots in the mixture is determined and compared with those of the known compounds. In this sample, we found the presence of the compound A and the compound C.
I hope you have enjoyed watching that video. Now we'll come to the applications of TLC. It's mainly having qualitative application, not well known for quantitative application. Please note that point. Now what are that qualitative application? One thing is assessing the purity of the sample. Now how do you assess the purity of the sample? We have TLC and you have some sample brought it from outside, maybe some other lab or from some chemical supplier, maybe Aldrich or some Molichem lab, Molichem supplier. You have brought some chemical. It may be benzaldehyde or it may be some aniline, something like that. You want to assess the purity of it. You want to check whether it is pure or not. Nowadays, best way is you record IR or NMR, but simple and very easy technique is TLC. Suppose you have benzaldehyde, you just spot it, just spot the benzaldehyde, run in particular solvent, maybe 20% ethyl acetate and anything. After run, you mark the solvent front. See how many spots you are getting. Suppose you are getting RF maybe something around 0.4 to 0.5 for this, 20 to 30% ethyl acetate. So if you have only one spot, then that benzaldehyde is very pure. If you have some other spot like this or some other spot like this, then we say this benzaldehyde is impure. Okay? Any sample, spot it and you check for the purity. One sample, one particular component will give you only one spot unless there is a decomposition by interacting with silica gel of this. Otherwise, one component will give you one spot in TLC plate. So when you examine this TLC, if there are many spots, then you can easily say, or if there is more than one spot, then you can easily say this sample is impure. If it is giving only one spot, suppose you don't have any spots here, you have only one spot corresponding to that particular component, then you can say the sample is pure. Then the second one is monitoring the progress of a reaction. So how can you monitor the progress of a reaction? Now look at this reaction. You have done the methylation of nitrophenol. Okay, para-nitrophenol, you have done the methylation using methyl bromide in the presence of NaOH. So what happened here? So you have spotted the reactant here. At the center you have spotted the reaction mixture, and another one is the expected product. Product and the reactant you have spotted separately. Reactant and the product, and reaction mixture you have spotted at the center. Now in the beginning, reaction mixture won't give anything apart from the reactant because reaction has not started. Now reactant will give you one spot, and the product sample you have already, then you spot it, it will give some spot here. Now you look at the polarity of this is higher than this. So in TLC, high polar will remain at the bottom and low polar go up in normal phase run. Similar to paper chromatography, this I have already explained in the last video. So this is high polar, this is low polar. So you can easily see the RF value of this is higher than this. Now in the reaction mixture, if you carefully examine, you see two spots, one with respect to reactant, another with respect to product. So what do you say from this at this stage? Reaction is running, reaction is taking place. It is forming the product from the reactant, it is converting the reactant into the product. Now it's not yet over. What happens at the end of the reaction? You put one more TLC. So you should continuously put TLC in every 10 to 15 minutes or every half an hour like. Because to monitor the reaction you should know, monitoring the reaction means you should know how far the reaction is progressing. So this is after certain time, maybe 10-15 minutes. After 1 or 2 hours, you again put this reactant, that is this one. And if you have the product already, then you put it here. Then your reaction mixture, from the past where the reaction is running, is spot using capillary. Okay. One thing you should note that you have to spot the dilute spots. Directly you cannot put it here. Remember this. You cannot directly take nitrophenol and spot it here. Take nitrophenol small amount in a test tube or in some oil, and you dilute it with some solvent, maybe DCM or ethyl acetate, so that this should be soluble in that particular solvent. Make a dilute solution and then spot it. So what happens if you spot the dark spot or concentrated spot? It will drag here. You don't get a proper separation. It may look like this. It may look like it is dragging, or these two spots may overlap like this. So you don't see proper separation and you don't see distinct spots. Okay? When you spot the dilute spot, now the reactant nitrophenol will be somewhere here, and the product already here. This one, from where you got the product? So this is from the sample which you already have. This reaction you are running, reactant and product both you have in the lab. So that time you are spotting the product. Otherwise, if you are doing a new reaction, you may not be having product. So that time you cannot spot this product spot. You will be just reactant, co and reaction mixture. I will explain what is that co. So now with the reaction mixture, suppose you got only this spot, and this spot is disappeared here, or you may get a light one. That means what? Reaction is over. So you cannot see any spot at the height of this reactant. So reactant is over. Reactant is over and it is converted to the required product. So you don't have any more reactant left over to progress further. At this stage, you can stop the reaction and you can do the workup. Suppose you want to monitor this particular reaction. So this is what? Conversion of ester to amine. You have reacted ethylamine with ethyl benzoate. And how do you do the reaction? You just heat it in particular some solvent. It may be DMF. DMF is good. or you can use some other bit high boiling solvent. Ethyl acetate you can heat it. So what happens? This NH will attack and OET will go out. It's just a amide formation, or it's a substitution kind of thing. NH and OET is replaced by this amine part. So you have done this reaction. Now you want to, or you are doing this reaction. You have not yet done. You have started the reaction. So what will you do in the beginning? You take the flask, any reaction mix. You mix A and B in the flask, and then you start running the reaction. Either you heat it or you just stir it. You may have to heat in this case. And after some time you want to know whether the reaction is over or not. So what will you do? You put a TLC. So you have to spot at least 3 spots here. See, this B you have taken in excess. Generally this one reactant, if you have 2 reactants, one of the reactants is always taken in excess. So this amine is usually taken in excess, so that reaction goes to completion, to ensure the reaction goes to completion. So what you do, you spot A here, you spot A. B you don't have to spot because it's already in excess. Anyway it will show in the TLC plate. Then one more spot, this is CO, and another one is from reaction mixture. Reaction mixture consists of what? It consists of everything. This plus this. This is in reaction flask. Suppose you have added everything in the reaction flask, and they are connected to condenser as okay. Okay, you have A plus B plus you have the product. This is actually product because product is getting formed, the reaction is progressing. You have product. All the 3 you have in the reaction mixture. The reaction mixture will be having all the 3 plus solvent. Solvent may not be seen in the TLC plate. If it is very high boiling, then it remains stuck, otherwise it will be evaporated, because you should remember that you are drying the TLC plate. Okay, now you have run the TLC plate, you have marked the solvent front, and you know this A may go up to somewhere here because low polar compared to this amide. This is low polar, and this is CO, you remember, CO spot. This is reactant, this is reaction mixture. Okay, RM I have written, reaction mixture, CO and reactant. Reactant has come here, it gives only one spot because pure reactant. Second reactant, as I already told you, you don't have to spot because it is already in excess, all the time it shows spot. So you put the CO, how will you put the CO? You take, using capillary, you take the solution of reaction mixture and spot it here. You take A and spot again here. Here what you did, you spotted only A, I mean this reactant, you have spotted here. Here what you did reaction mixture plus A, that is CO, that is together you have spotted. Okay, then here you have spotted reaction mixture. Okay, this CO is reaction mixture plus A, and this is reaction mixture. So this where it moves after certain time. If the reactant A is remaining, then you will get a spot here in the CO. If the product is forming somewhere here, you will get a spot because this is more polar than this. Now in the reaction mixture side, you will see this, right? After running, you will see this kind of spots. See what all you have spotted. A you have spotted, that is reactant. You don't have to spot this reactant. I am reiterating this because it is already in excess. Now from the reaction mixture flask, A plus B plus P, all are there. So you may see it's a dragging spot sometimes. You may not get clear distinct peaks here. You may see dragging spot sometimes. All are or something at the top. So everywhere you see some spots. But you have to compare where your reactant is, where your product is. And from the reaction mixture you have spotted this. Again in the reaction mixture, because it's all complicated mixture, you have to purify. So you see this kind of spot. Reaction mixture plus A, that is CO here, you have spotted. A has already come here, and this is the new spot, you can see. Again, this is a new spot, but may not be that dense. The dense, what you see, may be new spot. See, at this stage, you can see that product is getting formed. Okay, if you have this authentic sample with you, then you can directly compare with the product. Or at this stage, suppose you don't have the authentic product, then what you can say, a new spot, dense spot is getting formed at this height. That indicates that something is getting formed. It may be progressing towards the formation of the expected product. This is what you can say. You can't 100%, you can't tell that reaction is progressing or it is giving the expected product. I am getting the reaction done. All the things we can't say. You can only say that this reaction is progressing, it is giving something new, and that may be the product. But if you have authentic product, you can compare. You can compare with this, and then you can say yes, it is happening with all your expectation, and it is progressing towards the expected product. So this is what TLC is. How basically you work with a TLC for monitoring the progress of the reaction. You can say whether the reaction is progressing or not. And another thing, you can say when the reaction is over. You run the TLC after longer time, maybe it's, suppose you have run this TLC after 10-15 minutes, you can run this 1 or 2 hours, after 1 or 2 hours. So reactant, CO, and reaction mixture you have spotted. Okay, this is reactant, CO, reaction mixture. And what happens? Reactant spot will be there, authentic spot. So that you will see somewhere here. And in the CO reaction mixture, CO, what happens? You get again reactant because you have mixture of this plus this plus this. Okay, this one. See, on the product side, so in this case you have seen, well, actually if you don't find anything here, that reaction is already over. Remember this, actually this TLC indicates reaction might be over already, so you don't have to put one more TLC. But if suppose you get a spot here, suppose light spot you are having here, then what does it indicate? Reactant is still remaining, you have to run further. If suppose that particular spot is over, you are getting only this dense spot somewhere here, then you can say that reaction is over. Okay, so what is there in the conclusion? I mean, what you have to conclude? You have to check whether one of the reactant is totally over. Now you can see, you cannot see any spot at this height. So A reactant, I mean this reactant is already over it. So if you think, if you look at this TLC, I mean there was slight amount of A, but this is totally over. At this stage you can stop the reaction and do the workup. Now you may think why to put CO, right? Because this RF value won't remain constant all the time, or it won't be that particular or that distinct for the calculation and predicting the formation of the expected product or reactant existence. It's a bit difficult. If you spot with the CO, what happens? It is easy to compare. So if you are getting many spots, sometimes you will be confused whether the reactant is remaining or something else is formed. So if you compare like this, in the CO, you don't get any two spots here. If it is the reactant which is remaining, then you don't get two spots. So if it is different than the reactant, then you may get two spots here. Okay, this is why you are putting CO. And other applications like separation of organic compounds, including carbohydrates, lipids, amino acids. So what I wanted to tell, you can use this TLC plate for the separation of organic compounds qualitatively. Again, I am reiterating this, qualitatively. All these compounds like carbohydrates, lipids, amino acids, all this, right? Only thing is, you must have already seen in the video what kind of staining agents you have used for this kind of compounds. Okay, hope you have understood and enjoyed watching this video. And these are some of the references which you can read and understand better. And there are various other YouTube videos and online learning materials available in the net. You can watch them. Thank you for watching.